What if Regidrago was in Gen 1 OU? It's been a while since I've covered a Regi, and I'm gonna finally finish these off. I expect Regi show tomorrow. But Regidrago was probably the Regi that I wasn't really looking too much forward to covering, because I wasn't really sure what it would do. It is a literal dragon type in Gen 1, where Blizzard is everywhere. I guess I kind of forgot that literally every single stat is maxed out. And as you can imagine, a base 200 HP Pokemon with, even though its stats are very low, having both defense and special attacks be at max along with your HP, yeah, that's actually really significant. And your 80 base speed, that's pretty good for the time. That's great. Base 100 attack and special attack, considering those are also maxed out along with your bulk. Okay, that's actually just really good. So already from stats alone, this guy's looking very promising. And he does get a signature move in Dragon Energy. Now this is already pretty great, because he now has the only real dragon move in the game, since Dragon Rage is a set damage move. And it's pretty good considering what its style is supposed to be. It has 150 base power, and it decreases as its HP decreases. So it's literally just like Water Spout. Well, here's some good news for you, Regidrago. Not only is your base HP stat huge, not only your defense is good because of just how Gen 1 works, meaning you're taking less damage over time, but with 80 base speed, you are outspeeding Executor, Cloyster, Chansey, Rhydon, Slowbro, and Snorlax. That's already at least 6 Pokemon, and you are hitting them with a base 100 special attack stat hitting a 150 base power move, and with 80 base speed, you have a pretty decent crit rate as well. So like, even against things like Chansey, it won't be the greatest thing in the world, but even a crit they have to respect. And that's with Explosion. Yeah, base 100 Explosion. Stronger than Executor's Explosion. It's just really good and really powerful. There's not much in the game that wants to withstand it. And also, base 100 special attack. I'd like to remind you that is literally the same special attack as Starmie. So imagine Starmie using a Water Spout in Gen 1. Would that be insane? Call me crazy, but I think that would be insane. And to make things even better, another mechanic that there is in Gen 1 is permanent screens. So Reflect, that can make you unkillable, but especially a Light Screen. Your only weakness is either ice moves such as Blizzard, or an enemy Regidrago with its own Dragon Energy. Using Light Screen literally gets rid of your weaknesses. Just keep in mind, there's no physical special split. All Dragon moves are special. Same way all Ice moves are special. So with Light Screen up, you're just golden. Especially since you have Rest. And since you're so tanky, you better believe you can find turns to recover. And not to mention that typing, especially with the context that it can use Light Screen to cover its literal weaknesses, you just have resistances that are great. You resist Water, which is great for Slowbro. You resist Electric. That's probably your most relevant resistance, but you better believe that's great against Zapdos and Jolteon. You resist Fire, which is and you resist Grass. I don't think... Okay, I will admit, Victory Bell's Razor Leaf critting past your Light Screen, it does really suck. And we are very scared that statistically, Victory Bell might wrap Regidrago to death. But you know what? I'm a Regidrago truther. I think it might be able to handle Victory Bell. But if you're a big Victory Bell supporter, let me know in the comments below. That way I can block you. But yeah, like, Rest, that's pretty good. And with 100 base attack, you, along with Explosion, just have your standard attacking moves in Gen 1, in both Body Slam and Hyper Beam. And obviously, which is how great your substitutes are with your base 200 HP. Chansey is not really breaking you with Seismic Toss, nor is Gengar doing anything with Nightshade. I'm not sure though if it takes 2 still. I'm assuming it still takes 2 to break the sub. But if someone knows like the exact damage you would need for like a Pokemon to need 3 Seismic Tosses to break Substitute, let me know in the comments because I'm curious. But with Body Slam doing decent damage, that's another pretty good move you can use. Like this one right here, I don't think this is actually the greatest set you can use. Because even though Explosion is very powerful, I almost feel like it's worth removing it for some sets for like Body Slam. Because I do think Regidrago would prefer a more consistent attacking move. Because even though Dragon Energy is really good, the fact that it does lower in HP, like the West 8, or lower in power points, or I cannot talk right now. You know exactly what I mean. It gets weaker as you get weaker, which is very annoying. Especially with how many things are faster than you. Tauros, Jinx, let's see here, what else is there? Alakazam, Starmie, and especially Pokemon like Gengar. It kind of sucks. Especially with just how low power points you have for Dragon Energy. Something like Gengar can use Psychic and very quickly can get out of control with you unable to really hurt it. So you could also try going for an all attacking stat. Like I guess you could remove Rest for like Body Slam and then have like Hyper Beam just being full out offensive. But I don't know how good this really is. Probably not the worst thing in the world. And the good thing with Explosion is you do have a pretty good equalizer. And unless something freezes you, even a crit Blizzard, unless it's from like Cloyster and Jinx, you can survive pretty much anything. So even in a worst case scenario, you're probably bringing something down with it. Even for the small things, which at full HP can survive an Explosion, again, you have a pretty decent crit rate. So there's a very good chance that you will just take something out. So overall, a lot better than I thought. I'm impressed, especially with how good Widescreen is. But let's get on to the replays, shall we? Starting off with the boy himself, Tauros. And by the way, be prepared to see a lot of the big 3 for this video. Blizzard is pretty good, and as you can see, only a 3-hit KO. With the Widescreen up, you just do a lot better. And even a Blizzard onto Hyper Beam from Tauros does not kill Regidrago. As you can imagine, that's a pretty big deal. Now, crit Hyper Beam, I'm pretty sure that does kill you, but still. And there's that critical explosion like I told you about. Unless you're Gengar and probably Rhydon, nothing can survive that. I don't think there's anything that can survive that. Maybe Snorlax, but that's a big if. Now granted, Tauros can still do pretty good. It's still Tauros. And even with a Blizzard, I believe, what's it called? Dragon Energy still goes to, I believe, 95 base power. It's about as strong as Starmie using a Stab Surf. Yeah, that's really good. And that does, like, I will say that's maybe more points towards an offensive Regidrago set, but I don't know. As you can probably tell, Regidrago has a serious case of 4 move swap syndrome. It really wishes it can use 5 moves. Now, like I said, against Snorlax, you're faster. And crits, they do a lot of damage. And Snorlax is one of the few Pokemon that can survive it. And obviously, like, Self-Destruct still hurts a lot. But being faster means it's one of the few things that you can just spam Dragon Energy against without worrying about any consequences. And obviously when you do that, it's really good. Like, that does a third. There's not a lot of things in the game that does a third to Snorlax. So, against physical Snorlax sets, you do very well. Granted, with the low power points, you do have to worry a little bit. But, at the same time, Snorlax can, like, it struggles a lot. And interesting enough, you can survive a Self-Destruct at full HP. Or maybe that's not that interesting, because I'm sure a lot of you would have expected that. But I don't know. Also, I didn't realize it actually shows the base power of Dragon Energy. But yeah, like, see, even with a Body Slam, it still has over 100 base power. That's just crazy. But how do other sets of Snorlax do? Because obviously, you don't only use all-out attacking physical Snorlax. There's also Amnesialax. And yeah, it does better, as you can probably imagine. But also, you do have to fear a crit. That could be pretty dangerous. But at the same time, you could be bulky enough to where you could outlast the, like, power points. Or not. Like, the Snorlax can survive one crit, but it cannot survive being hit multiple times or a crit into, like, another, like, regular move. It's a struggle. So even with super effective coverage, Snorlax does do really well. However, like, with just one Amnesia, Ice Beam does do a lot of damage. But then there's another problem. Or, not if you're frozen. If you're frozen, you're probably golden. But not forget that you still have Explosion. So Regidrago at any time, if it's struggling, can always go boom. Which is just something that normally for videos like these, I don't like to count that much. Because you're still kind of, you know, like, losing a Pokemon. But Regidrago, I think, is the exception. That's mostly because with how bulky it is, and with it already having a very devastating attacking move, I personally think that Regidrago is capable of trading anything in the game. And I think just being the most reliable explosion setter in the game. And yes, I would say Regidrago is more reliable as an explosion setter than both Exeggutor and Gengar. But that might be a hot take. But I do think that's a huge, like boost in Regidrago's favor. But Chansey here. Ice Beam only does a third. And that's with how high Chansey's special is, and with how low Regidrago's special defense is. It does a lot of damage here, but Explosion can just OHKO. Being able to OHKO Chansey is really big. I'm not even sure if Exeggutor's Explosion is a guaranteed OHKO. It might, but I do not know. What I do know is that with White Screen, you do significantly better. To the point where it's kind of funny, but you can kinda stall out Chansey. The only thing you need to worry about is paralysis luck or crits. But it's fascinating, really, because you're a dragon type. But no, it's not the worst thing in the world. So I do honestly think a Light Screen might just be a mainstay for Regidrago. But what do you think? Oh, by the way, while you're here, consider subscribing and liking the video. I'd really appreciate it. Also join the Discord server. I host tournaments in my server based off the scenarios I do. So we're almost done with Season 3 of Generation Jumble. And we're going to be doing Season 4, which will be Ubers, but including Hoenn Pokemon, such as the Regi Trio, Weather Trio, Hoenn Starters, and Metagross. It'll be a lot of fun. I'd love to have you there. But back to the fight. That's Chansey, and it's already used half of his Ice Beams on a Dragon type with 50 special defense. Don't you just love Gen 1 mechanics? Because, like, replays like these, outside stalling, is why I chose Gen 1 to make most of these videos in. Other gens, such as Gen 4 or Gen 3 or even Gen 2, could be very interesting, but none of them have the same mechanics that Gen 1 has. So I feel like there's just a lot of potential here. And things that can only happen in Gen 1, such as max out stats or permanent widescreen. I love Gen 1 so much. But you can probably tell, considering I have over 200 videos on the subject. Technically even more if we count Generation Jumble. And now we finally have a non-Big 3 Pokemon. And that's Regidrago being hit really hard by a crit Psychic. But crit Body Slam does just as much. I cannot talk for still, this is so sad. But with Widescreen, you also just do a fantastic job walling at Psychics. Although there is still the problem of special drops. But with Body Slam, we don't care too much. But if you're only using Dragon Energy and Explosion as your main attacking moves, you struggle a lot more. And Hibernate was a move you kind of wish you can use, but I feel like it's really hard to justify using it. In some ways, it is nice that Regidrago is a pretty versatile Pokemon, but against especially a lot of the special walls, even though you have widescreen, with Psychic, it could be just as annoying for you as it is for them. And for Gengar, which we'll go over soon, it's just annoying for you and only you. Now, Cloyster having base 70 speed is very huge, as it means that not only do you just have a chance to do anything towards it, but luckily Dragon Energy does do a lot of damage. You lose a lot of your health. I think it goes to like 50 something after a Stab Blizzard. So at that point, I don't think it's worth it. But what if you already have widescreen up? Just using this chance to use Jolteon here. I didn't really bother with a real Jolteon replay, because, like, what would you expect me to do? Like, I think it's pretty obvious that Jolteon has no way of hurting Regidrago. The only thing it could do is just slightly lower the base power of Dragon Energy, but I do not understand how that would be relevant in the slightest. Also, look at that. Even with being hit with a Stab Blizzard, because of the widescreen, you still had base 100. That's crazy. Like, the Starmie doesn't even have a base 100 move. It has Blizzard, which is stronger, but that's not even Stab. So I guess Surf is pretty close, so Executor, I think, is pretty interesting, because with the widescreen, like, Psychic does nothing to you, but because of how bulky Executor naturally is, even with how high your special is, and with how high Dragon Energy is, Executor can tank it and has no problem fishing for those special drops, meaning Regidrago is probably forced to explode. Not what I would have expected, but I don't know, I think it's pretty cool. In my opinion, at least. Now, next off, we have... I think this is Gengar, yeah. Unfortunately, you only have Dragon Energy to fight against Gengar. So if it's just Nightshade and Thunderbolt, you're probably okay. But even then, slowly winnowing you down means that you're just going to be hitting less and less, even with Gengar using, like, weak moves. But if it's Psychic, I didn't show it here, but Gengar fishing with the special drops, you just have no way to hit Gengar. So I think I originally had this as a bad matchup, but I think I need to move it to unwinnable. Actually, I remember right now. I think I have Gengar and... Or actually, I'll talk about it later. But here's Jinx. Yeah, I don't think anyone's surprised to see that. At the very least, with Jinx not being able to completely OHKO you without a crit or freeze, you can at least take it out with Explosion. But I'm not sure which is the better trade between the two. It's hard to tell. Now, Rhydon. You hit Rhydon really hard. And you're faster. You can hit specially. No one is surprised by this outcome. Moving on. Now we have Slowbro, and this one's pretty interesting, because obviously Slowbro can be faster and it could slowly boost its special. But at the same time, you hit decently hard with just one Amnesia, but statistically it probably will get all the Amnesias up. But then again, you have a pretty good crit rate, so you can just fish for that. Although you do only have 8, so you still have to be careful. But it's not the most impossible thing in the world. So I don't know, like, this alone feels like it would be a good go either way. But now we remember some things. Regidrago is a dragon type that's really bulky. So even with max special, there's a pretty good chance you can survive Surf. If you get a crit, you just fight out OHKO Slowbro. That's a really good. Like, really good. Not to mention you just have Explosion. So even if it looks pretty bad, you can always go immediately for that. And that will do a lot of damage to Slowbro. So I feel like this can be a good matchup, even if on paper, Slowbro is one that can seriously, like, PP stall Regidrago. But it's up to you to decide. Now, I believe in this replay, I will show how much Surf does. And it's not like... Or honestly, I forget. Let's watch it together. I made these replays last night, but decided to not make a video because I figured, oh yeah, look at that. That's just a third. Now imagine Regidrago with widescreen. I take back what I said. Regidrago final just has a good matchup against Swirlbro. But yeah, I made these replays last night and figured it was too late to continue making videos. Or record a video. So yeah, here we are. Starmie is super fast. So, a crit, yeah, that's not good. Widescreen isn't too much better. So, yeah, it sucks. It sucks a lot. And Starmie can, like, it's probably a damage range. So, at the very least, being able to probably OHKO Starmie within a range is actually pretty good. But, other than that, you really struggle a lot. Like, I don't think I'm super surprised to hear that. With widescreen up, Blizzard is a 4-hit KO. But there's always the chance of you getting a crit, so it's just not gonna work out for you. Starmie will kill you eventually. Now here's the one I've been dreading, Victory Bell. It will fight past that widescreen. So against Victory Bell, it might not even be worth it. And I know it's sad, seeing Victory Bell lower that base power for Dragon Energy. It can only use 126. It is such a tough situation to be in. But you know what? I'm proud of Regidrago for barely surviving. I am proud of him. Alright, last but not least, we have Zapdos. And Zapdos can hit pretty hard with Drill Peck. Or not like hard, but every single Drill Peck, which already hits decently well, it's just gonna lower Dragon Energy even more. So Regidrago will struggle, but it still has Explosion at the end of the day. And Zapdos is a very high value Pokemon, so being able to kill it, it's not necessarily a bad trade. I think I need to change some of these. Charmander should not be there. Charmander, as much as I hate to admit it, would just dominate. It actually looks like it didn't save from last time. Okay, so we're actually going to change this. Like, we're going to change this on the spot. It did not save. I know I messed with this for Regidrago. But let's see this. So, Gengar, I think, is just fully unwinnable. Because no matter what, Gengar will lower your Dragon Energy. So even with Thunderbolt, it's just going to make Regidrago slowly become useless. Especially since, with Gengar being a Ghost type, it is unable to really fight back against you. Or Regidrago is unable to fight back against Gengar. Cloysters, I could go either way. I could see Argue being good. Jinx is just bad. Same with Starmie. I think everything here should stay and could go either way. Executor should also be brought there. And same with Chansey. Snorlax, I think I will keep in good. And Rhydon I'll put in great matchups. Okay, this is weird. I'm not used to doing the tiers live, but I'm sure why I didn't save. But who cares? Like, as you can tell, Regidrago is pretty good, I would say. I don't know if it'll be the best Regi. It'll be really hard to compete against Regieleki because of it being so fast. And quite honestly, there's like literally no way anything can be Amnesia Regice outside Regigigas. But even then, I'm sure you can make an argument for Regice being better. What do you think? Do you think Regidrago will be pretty good? Do you think it's better than I expected? Or can you think of ways to take advantage of it that I didn't think of? Let me know in the comments below. And sorry if I seem kinda out of it today. I don't know, I felt like I was rambling on more than usual. So I'll try to work on that. I've had a lot on my mind. But until next time, this is Groundback, and I look forward to hearing from you.